When it comes to sleep, most parents are doing everything that they've been told was right to do. Earlier bedtimes, blackout curtains, melatonin, white noise machines, and still their child is struggling there for 2, sometimes 3 hours wide awake, even when they clearly, desperately need so much sleep. If that's your life right now, I want you to hear this. You are not failing at bedtime, and your child is not being difficult. What you're seeing, that exhausted but wired pattern, is a nervous system that's stuck in stress mode because no sleep routine, no supplement, no blackout curtain can override a nervous system that is physiologically locked in that fight or flight mode. This conversation is for parents who are beyond tired, not just from the sleepless nights, but from trying everything and still watching their child struggle to rest. If you feel like you've done everything right and nothing is working, this is for you. Let's start with something that stops most parents right in their tracks. About 35% of children in the United States are not getting enough sleep. That's more than 1 in 3 kids starting their day already running on empty. And we hear the same story every single week. Families have tried the routines, the supplements, the schedules. Their child is still exhausted, still wired, and still not sleeping. What nobody is telling these parents is that the problem isn't all at bedtime. The problem starts in the nervous system. And most of the time, it starts long before bedtime routines were ever even a factor, because sleep is not just rest. Sleep is actually one of the most active, productive times in your child's entire day. While your child is sleeping, their brain is sorting and organizing everything that they've learned throughout the day. Neural connections are being strengthened. Memories are being stored. Growth hormone is released during sleep, meaning your child is literally growing while they rest. The immune system is hard at work as well at this time, producing the cells needed to fight off illnesses, and that's why kids who don't sleep well tend to get sick more often. The brain is also processing emotions during REM sleep, so these meltdowns, that emotional volatility, a lot of that is simply a nervous system running on empty. Sleep is when the body repairs, resets, and recharges. So when sleep is off, everything else starts to unravel, which brings us to the real driver of sleep, the nervous system. Your child's nervous system has 2 main modes. You can think of them like a gas pedal and a brake pedal. The gas pedal, the sympathetic nervous system, is responsible for alertness, stress, and fight or flight. The brake pedal, the parasympathetic system, largely controlled by the vagus nerve, is what allows your child to calm down, relax, and fall asleep. Sleep only happens when the brake wins. But when there's interference in that system, what we call subluxation, the brain and body can't communicate clearly. The brake doesn't engage the way it should, so the gas pedal stays on, and now your child is stuck in wired mode, even though their body is completely exhausted. It's like trying to fall asleep after 3 energy drinks. The body is done, but the system won't allow it to rest. That's why this isn't a bedtime routine issue. It's a nervous system regulation issue. So how does a child's nervous system get stuck like this? This is what we call the perfect storm. It's a series of stressors that build up over time, often starting earlier than most parents realize. It can begin during pregnancy. When a mom is under stress, cortisol can cross the placenta and influence how the baby's stress response system develops. Then comes birth. Interventions like inductions, forceps, vacuum extraction, or C-sections can place stress on the upper neck and brainstem, right where the vagus nerve exits, a big part of sleep. Even breech positioning can contribute to that as well. Then early childhood adds more of these layers to it. Things like antibiotics, disrupting gut health, chronic reflux, constipation, frequent illness. All of these are signals of a nervous system that's already struggling to regulate. Over time, this builds into what we like to call dysautonomia, which is just dysfunction of the autonomic nervous system. And one of the very first places that this shows up is sleep. And when sleep is chronically disrupted, this effects don't only stay contained to the bedtime, they spill into every part of your child's development. Kids who aren't sleeping well often look like they have ADHD and hyperactivity, impulsivity, trouble focusing. But that's what exhaustion looks like in kids. The immune system can't rebuild, so they get stuck in a cycle, getting sick, needing antibiotics, which disrupts the gut, further impacting the nervous system, and the cycle continues on. Learning becomes harder because memory consolidation is impaired. Emotional regulation falls apart. Those big meltdowns aren't behavior problems. They're a nervous system that doesn't have the capacity to cope. And over time, chronic sleep deprivation is even linked to anxiety and depression because the brain simply doesn't have the resources it needs to function well. This is why so many families feel so stuck, because they're doing everything right. But the thing is, they're not addressing the symptoms. They are addressing the symptoms, but not the source. This is where a neurological approach changes everything. Neurologically focused chiropractic care works by addressing the root, the nervous system itself. Using gentle, specific adjustments, we remove that interference, that subluxation, so the brain and body can communicate the way that they're supposed to. What happens? The nervous system then can finally shift between stress and rest. The vagus nerve can activate properly at the right time, and real sleep cycles can begin. We use insight scans in our office to measure exactly what's going on, where that interference is, how much stress is present, and how the system is functioning overall. So we're not guessing, and one of the first things parents notice is that sleep improves, then the digestion improves, then the immune system strengthens, then the behavior and emotional regulation follows as well, because your sleep is the foundation. When your child can access that deep restorative sleep, everything starts to fall into place the way it should. So if your child is struggling to sleep, I want you to remember this. It's not behavioral. It's not something they'll just grow out of. And it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's a nervous system that's stuck, and there's a path forward. If you're ready to get to the root of your child's sleep challenges, reach out to myself, Dr. Devin, and Dr. Liv at Lighthouse Family Chiropractic here in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Visit our website, send us a DM, or schedule with us directly at 854-354-8989. Let's get your child and your whole family sleeping again.